Welcome to Ignite the Spark Within, a podcast designed to do just that, ignite your spark within you. I'm your host, Sarah Malone, owner of Spark Fitness and Lifestyle Coaching and voted Yahoo Finance's top 10 female coaches to follow in 2021. I believe everyone has a fire inside them, a powerful purpose, a story waiting to be told, and everyone can uncover and unleash this power. Every day you have the choice to either let your experiences shape you or take control and use your experiences to shape the world around you. You were made to experience happiness, freedom, joy, purpose, love, passion, and abundance. Disrupt the status quo, think for yourself, and join forces with those around you doing the same. Join me for thought-provoking conversations along with the strategies needed in order to help you ignite your spark within. Welcome back to the show, everyone. I am so excited to be here with you. This is episode 80 of Ignite the Spark Within, 80 episodes strong. And I have to say, it's been like, it feels almost like a writer's journey, the journey of podcasting. And it's just interesting to see, like, when you make this pursuit of putting your voice out into the world, what types of challenges come up, what types of seasons come up in your life in order to be able to transmute that and then share it with the world. It's very similar to what I've experienced writing my book on peace. You know, I started the book 2 years ago. I'm almost finished now. But what happened was, as soon as I started writing this book on peace, I hit one of the most chaotic and challenging seasons and periods of my life, handling every type of challenge from relational, emotional, logistical, financial, you name it. And it was all in an effort to channel through some of these life lessons, these wisdoms. So I've noticed the same thing happening with the podcast. And I love it because it keeps me activated. It keeps me connected. It keeps me in tune and seeking, right? Like on that path. I know that there are some listeners on my show that literally wait for episodes to be dropped. And so that encourages me and inspires me to keep going, to stay connected, and to listen for what the type of message needs to be delivered, which is bringing me to the message for today, which is basically on prayer and manifestation, right? And also goal setting. And so in this episode today, we are going to talk about the difference between goal setting, prayer, and manifestation, right? There's a lot of manifestors out there, generators, all of this, human design type of thing. We're going to go over how to ask for what you want while also keeping the door open for what you actually need. We'll talk about the difference there. We will talk about a formula for powerful and effective prayer. We'll also talk about 3 specific ingredients for effective prayer / a manifestation, however we want to frame that. And we will talk about finding the secret place of magic within prayer and manifestation. Ideally, we'd want to define the difference between these two things right away, which is how we're going to start this episode. But before I do, please, as always, hit that share button, hit that rate button if you haven't rated the show yet. This just encourages more and more people to find the show. My mission, my goal is to reach as many people as possible, and I can't do that without your help. So please, I ask for that one favor, just one favor from you. If you could do anything to just to show your support for what we're putting out here, hit that share button, hit that rate button. And if you want to, and if you do feel called, hit that donate button in the links. Or I have just launched a new platform for donations on my website. Now, here's the deal. This is more of a scholarship fund. The donations that go towards this show and any of my businesses or my services, any tips or donations go directly, 100% of those donations go into a scholarship fund that I will be using to help assist those who are not able to afford healing, therapy, retreats, these types of things. They will go through a process to make sure that they're 100% committed and in a place to receive this type of healing and growth. And so This is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time and have just finally been able to implement. So please, if you do feel called, whether you are a client of mine, you've been a client of mine, or you're not typically interested in my services, but you know that somebody else desperately needs something like this, please consider donating. Again, all of these proceeds, 100% of the donations go into a fund that helps support the cost of therapy, healing, or a healing retreat to someone who does not have the resources and capabilities. And this is an interesting segue into the show, because it's all about prayer, manifestation, asking how to ask, right? And so I'm sure, I'm positive there are people out there that literally don't have the financial resources to support their healing and growth and therapy for mental health and spiritual health. And yet they have the courage to ask for provision or for assistance in that way. And I'd like to think that this donation platform with my company is a way to answer that prayer for someone out there who's praying that, and they're praying that with belief and commitment to the journey. So, and then last thing I'll say before we dive into this episode, because I'm very excited to talk about this topic, is the upcoming retreat in February 1st through the 5th. Reignite in the Red Rocks comes again to Sedona. This is a healing and growth retreat for men and women who are seeking basically their next level, whatever that looks like, right? They know that there's some more out there. They feel like something is blocking them. They're tired of being restricted to the confines of their emotional dysregulation or suffering, and they're ready to lift the veil and to unlock those chains. This is what that type of retreat is for. And the dates are February 1st through the 5th. It is $1,770, so $1,770. I'm just very transparent because we're almost sold out. And so I want to make sure that this retreat is falling into the hearts and ears and minds of those people who are really at a place to, number one, make that commitment, investment into their self, but number two, that are really ready to transform. Because this is not a retreat that you just go to for a spa type of experience and to dance around and do a bunch of floofy stuff. This is a real retreat with a real program that will take you from chains to freedom in 4 days. Plus, you'll get the spa and adventure of Sedona and the pampering with massage and the spa type of treatment. So February 1st through the 5th, if you are not interested, but you know someone else is, please tell them about it. Please share that information and or donate to their ability to come. Okay, without further ado, let's dive in. How to ask for what you want. So there are a lot of people out there right now in this like manifestation, law of attraction type of mentality with all the spiritual sourceness and woo-woo stuff. So I want to be very clear. That is not what this episode is about. Okay. This episode is not about how to manifest your desires. I mean, in a way it is, but in a separate way, in an entirely more effective and right way. This is about working with, oh my gosh, here we go already. Come on. This is about collaborating with God. Okay. This is about working with the power of God, not feeling like I'm the creator of my life. I create my life, right? In some ways, we do create our life just based on our outlook and how we're looking on it. Like how I think is usually going to be my reality. Okay. But at the same time, I am not the sole creator of my life. I can be if I really want to. That's going to lead to a lot of distress and struggle and trial and suffering and so on and so forth. But if I choose to work with the power of God and come into collaboration and be a worker with God, this is when our life goes from like stressful goal setting, which is the primary operating place of society these days, which is striving and goals and, 10x this and, ask for more and big audacious goals, right? And while that's all fine and good, maybe for some people, I find that the majority of people are not happy living that style of life. Okay. The majority of people, that's because we're not designed to. Okay. The majority of people are not like high drive, hell bent, I will run over anybody in my path in order to get what I want. And also, I want to say this, that mentality, it almost has a never good enough mentality. Okay. This kind of American dream, work, work, work. I'm out for myself, success, money, fame, influence, followers, all of this stuff on social media is a very short-lived, surface level way of achieving what one would think is success. However, when they get these things, when they achieve or acquire or get these things, they find very quickly that it does not feel very successful at all. In fact, it feels quite empty. And so this form of manifesting what you want, manifest your desires, it's like, while that's all well and good, there is a better way to do it. And I'd like to show that to you today. Now, let me be very clear about the difference between what I'm talking about manifesting and then actually, in another way is, like I said, collaborating with God, but also following your path, right? Because that's the only way to have a feeling of success. When we follow our path, when we follow our assignment, when we fulfill our calling, that is success, because there's something in the gift of giving your gift that you receive 10x. And that's that missing piece that the high drive success mentality does not have. That's the fulfillment piece. Okay. So like I said, there's a missing ingredient in the high drive success route. And that missing ingredient is fulfillment. Okay. Fulfillment and also joy. So let me be very clear. We are always manifesting. I talk about this at my retreats. All of us are constantly manifesting. What I mean by that is we manifest what we either want or don't want based on how often and how intensely we focus on it. So people are manifesting their life all the time. Okay. A lot of people manifest depression and destruction to their life. It's because all they think about is fear and sad thoughts and regrets of the past. And I'm going to mess it up again. And what happens if it falls through? Okay. So their thoughts are manifesting their reality. That's how it works. What you focus on, you will attract more of into your life. So we can choose what we'd like to manifest simply by shifting our focus, right? But that's like only one part. And there's not as much power in that, because all of that is you. That requires nothing of God. That's all how you choose to focus, right? Does that make sense? That is all about your choice on where you want to place your thoughts. And it's good that you want to place your thoughts on, success and building a big business and money and relationship and like all those things are good, right? We should fix our thoughts on good things. Now, prayer is another facet. Prayer is the request from God for his assistance, right? In what we're manifesting. So it's like, if I just stop at manifestation, if I just focus on it enough and draw it into my environment, then I'm going to have all of these things. That's basically saying my effort, my power, my focus is enough. In other words, I can create my dream life. And that's just not true. You can't. You can't. You can make things happen by your choices and your actions. You can take actions, you can make decisions, you can place your thoughts where you want them to go. But if you really want to achieve that high level of living called fulfillment and success, then you are 100%, there's not a sliver of doubt, you will 100% need the assistance of God. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Okay. So first of all, are we clear about the difference between manifesting and prayer? Manifesting is I'm doing it all the time, just based on how I choose to think, right? Our thoughts are very important and we should steward them and tend them like a garden, tend the thoughts that come in and tend the words that go out, because that will dictate, again, this will dictate the state of the heart. Okay. We'll talk about the union of those two, the mind and the heart, later on in this episode. So, and then prayer is asking for the assistance from God. Now, this is what this episode truly is about, and how to ask for, right? And also how to goal set, because a lot of people will spend hours goal setting, making a vision board, and being very specific about even like their dream partner, down to the color of hair, how tall they'll be, where they'll live, all of these things. And they will put a lot of emphasis on all of these specifics that they think they need. But here is the thing. Oh my gosh. Here's the thing. Okay. We cannot possibly know. This is really funny. We cannot possibly know what we need. Why? Because our lens is limited to our traumas and our previous experiences, right? We are limited in what we think is possible and what we think that we need to actually do what we're supposed to do, because we don't have all the information. We only know right here and behind us. And if we're lucky, we know at least a direction in which we're supposed to go, meaning our calling and our purpose. That's a great place to start. But we have no idea what that path is going to look like. And we also have no idea what we are going to need when we arrive, quote unquote, arrive, because there is no really arrival at this place of destiny, right? We have no idea. We also have no idea what's clouding our vision as it pertains to the past experiences, right? So all I know how to do, if I'm just focused on goal setting and manifesting, right? All I know how to do is take my history, figure out what I did like, what I don't like, and then formulate what I do want in the future. Nowhere in there does it take into account what I actually need to do, what I'm supposed to do, because I don't know. And so what I'm saying to you is that when we're making these very, 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 very specific goals, we may be asking for things that we don't need. And God knows that. And so that's why he just says no sometimes, or doesn't answer, or we don't get that. And then we get disappointed, and then we think we're a failure, and then we think all these things, right? But no. It's that God answers. Oh my gosh. God will answer the prayers that you ask for and your wants, but he will not put you in a position to bypass what you actually need, right? Because God wants what you need. So he will give you what you need, but you also need to ask. This is called partnership, right? And so this is why asking is very important, because you can align yourself with God, and you can really be like, instead of shouting over there, hey, God, I want this. And I think I also need this and this and this and this. And you can make your list and then send it off, right? Or you can bring yourself closer and really act in partnership with him based on your faith that he has what you need in store for you. He will supply what you need. So what I'm saying is that we should basically not just pray, because just praying is like saying, hey God, it would be really nice if I had this things, and these things. And also, can you make it really easy for me? Okay, bye. And then expecting it to show up and expecting all those prayers to answer. There's no action. There's no participation required of you on that. That's like, asking, make believe Santa Claus for your Christmas wish list, and then feeling like there's, that you don't have to do anything in response to that. I'm not saying that you have to do anything in order for God to answer prayer. But what I am saying is that this is part of the relationship. It's not necessarily about, oh, okay, in order for me to get what I want from God, I have to do something. That's a state of the heart. Oh my gosh. Instead, it's like, I would like to be a part of this with you. I want to be a part of it. So let me speak with you, share the desires of my heart, because that's partnership, that's relationship, and then let you work. Okay, this is the secret place that we're going to find in between. So what I'm basically saying is that we should prayerfully manifest our life with the help and assistance of God, meaning collaboration, cooperation. And then also we should be careful what we ask for, because in the same breath that I say God will bypass what you think you want and then he will give you what you need, he will, oh my gosh, he will give you what you need and what you ask for. But unless you're specific, not too specific, but unless you're specific in the way that you ask this, you might not like the way that it shows up. Meaning, God, I pray for more patience, period. Well, you didn't specify how you wanted that to go. So yes, you do need patience and God will give that to you, but he may get creative or funny or funky with the request and deliver it in a way to give you a very troublesome child or traffic or a difficult coworker, you name it. So it may show up in the form of challenge, right? And actually most of the things that God delivers us do, because he doesn't just drop things on you, right? These are characteristics, a lot of the things that we want. These are characteristics and qualities, and he wants to equip us for them in order to hold them. Because if I'm not a part of that process to develop this quality, then the patience that I get is going to not feel, I almost won't even recognize it. In the same way of being like, I want to be a millionaire. God's just not just going to, maybe he will cause you to win the lottery, but it's like, I want to be a millionaire. So then all of a sudden you get ideas on how to make more money or opportunities to make more money, right? Or somebody comes into your life to teach you. It's like, we need to be open to how God's going to deliver whatever we're asking for. And this is why it's very good to have some knowledge on how to ask in the right ways so that we can be open to receiving. So here's what I see happening a lot is either people ask too specifically or they ask too broadly, meaning I'm making this very, very, very specific list on all of my goals here. God, fulfill this. I'm asking for this very specifically, or they ask too broadly, right? It's the difference between saying like, okay, I want my dream partner and I want him to be 6'1" and brown hair, and I need him to have facial hair. He needs to like guns. Like I have all my requirements, right, for this person. And again, that list is limited to what we think we want, think we need, or limited to our past experiences. And here's what's interesting about specificity is this is how the enemy really creeps in, right? We develop this perfect image of what we think that we need and want. And we're like, I'm going to manifest this into my life. I'm the creator of my life. And there's like this excitement about it. And we think about it all the time and we meditate on it all the time. And here's how the enemy works. The enemy's like, oh, okay. All right, you were very specific. Now I know exactly what, because you made your petitions, right? You petitioned, you put it out there. The enemy hears that and is like, okay, let me just find this person and slide them right in here. Let me put these two people together, right? So the enemy will use your specificity, which is limited to your own abilities and knowledge, to lure something into your path that may feel like it's from God, because you're like, oh, I was asking for all of this and now here it is. This is an answer from God. And so he will use your specificity almost against you to say, look, you asked and you shall receive. Here it is. And then it's like there's something fundamentally wrong with it. And what do you think oh my gosh, what do you think that thing that's fundamentally wrong with it is going to be? It's going to be the need that God knew you needed, but you didn't. Oh my gosh. So the fundamental core of whatever the thing is that you were asking for, right? All of this stuff on the outside is going to be like perfect. Oh my gosh, you check all the boxes. My list on paper, you fulfill that role completely. And then deep there in the core, the fundamental flaw of this thing, this person, this job, this whatever is the part that you missed, the need that you couldn't see, but God can see. And you didn't allow God to be God because you wanted to be the creator of your life and you wanted the control. Now, we all do this. So I'm not saying you, right? Like I've done this too. And so this thing comes in and it's exactly what you asked and how you asked for it. And it's like, right? It's from God. It's like, asking. So it's that my examples of things that I see a lot in my own clients is how they ask for money, how they ask for success, how they ask for the perfect husband or wife or mate or partner, how they ask for like even their calling, right? They think that they want to do something like I want to be a world renowned speaker. And it's like, well, is that what you're supposed to do? Is that what you need to be doing? Okay. So they get very, very specific. And what this does is it removes God from being God. It's almost like you shut God off from being God, or at the very least, you can't do that. That's impossible. But what you do is you shut yourself off from seeing God's direction on where you need to go because you're so hung up on the details of what you think you want and need that you're missing the opportunity to work with God towards something. Does that make sense? And also, I mean, aside from just taking God out of it, is there is so much tension around that. Like if I have a specific number of finances that I must achieve, that's my goal. That's now let me just pause for the cause here and say that there's nothing wrong with goal setting and vision casting and aiming for something, right? This is all good stuff. Otherwise, what's the alternative? We sit and accept less than we're capable of. I mean, there should always be some level of pursuit and striving, right? What I'm saying is being so glued to it, being so specific. I must make $678,000 a year. Boom. And then people even go so far as to say, how are they going to make that money? Through this avenue, this avenue, this avenue. It's like, well, then what opportunity does God have to like show you other opportunities or show you other ways, or maybe show you a different dollar amount, or maybe you don't need that much, or maybe you need more. Maybe he wants you to have more. So this is what I'm saying is we don't want to confine the process of God answering us for us with us by being overly specific on what we think that we want. Because again, we can't possibly know. We can't possibly know. And then the second way that people kind of miss the boat on this is asking too broadly. It's the example of before when I said, Lord, give me patience. Okay, well, be careful because now I have a lot of options and ways to help you acquire and develop patience, right? And you may not like all of them. And so he'll use whatever is available if you just ask for something, right? God, give me a partner. Okay, well, watch out. There are a lot of partners out there. They're not all your partner and they're not all good partners. We know this from experience, right? And so that's self-explanatory. So it's like, how do we then bridge this gap? How do we find the middle ground? And so What we need to do is, and this is going to bring me to my the formula for a powerful prayer, is ask specifically but broad enough so that we feel a part of it, right? And we're making our desires known, but we're also allowing God to be God. And so examples of this include partnership, abundance, financial freedom, or like growth, business growth. So let me provide some examples for you in the form of prayer or asking, that will hopefully jog your thoughts in the right direction, right? Lord, I desire a partnership of love and passion. Bring me to the person you have designed for me. You know the desires and needs of my heart. Deliver this person to me, and while I wait, get me ready for them also. And also, while I wait, protect my heart from a spirit of loneliness or sadness. Do this in your time. I trust your timing. I also trust that you know what I need better than I do. So would you work in that person out there and get them ready for me while you get me ready for them? There are so many things amazing about this type of prayer. Number one, you're saying, I do desire a partnership. That's not a lie. You already know that, God. You put that desire into my heart, right? This is a prayer I prayed before I met James. I got to a place where I was like, enough of this, like asking specifically for the type of man that I think I need. Maybe I don't know what I need. Maybe I'm asking for the wrong things. And that's why I'm getting the wrong partners, right? Maybe. And that's the case with a lot of other things too. But I'm saying, hey, you know what? This is what I want. I want I want a beautiful relationship with love and passion and fun and like these ingredients, right? I'm not asking about the specifics of my partner. I'm asking about the specifics of the relationship, the dynamic of the relationship, because I know that's healthy for me. And I know my nature and I know the desires of my heart. And by me knowing that, I can say, hey, God, you know the desires of my heart. I don't need to tell you. Although I will say, I desire this. It is a longing of mine. It's a craving of mine. It's a passion of mine. But I'm not in desperation right now. I can wait. So would you go ahead and get that person ready? And also, if there's anything else I'm missing, any needs that I'm missing that I don't even know that I need, right? In a partner, I don't know how that's going to show up. So would you just bring that person to me? And in the meantime, bring me patience and companionship through you. Bring me companionship so I'm not lonely, and get me ready. Work with me to become the person I need to be for that person that I need. Okay, this is specific and broad. I'm not saying by March, God, bring me the man of my dreams who is in the business of finances, who's really goal oriented. Like, no, because what I have found is that the person I thought I would need is definitely not the person I actually need. Not at all. Not at all. Okay. So we have ideas in our head about how we think it should go. Not everything you think you want is as it's perceived. A second one for finances, right? Lord, provide abundance for me, whatever you see my needs are, in order to do what I'm supposed to do, while also having the freedom to live without the weight of finances on my shoulders. Relieve me, lift me of this burden of finances quickly and swiftly, and provide the resources I need. Okay, this is way different than asking for money, because abundance and provision comes in many different forms. It may come in people, it may come in ideas, it may come in a word, it may come in money, it may come in an opportunity, right? And if I'm just asking for money, I'm limiting my path of abundance here now. Now I'm stressed about where is the money? Where are the opportunities for money? Where is it coming from? Right? What I found is that God will usually use one prayer and answer two. Meaning, if he gives you an idea of a something to implement in your business or in your life or a side project, that's going to make you money. Now you're making money and you're increasing and growing a business or your mission or a passion of yours, right? So voila, now you get two prayers answered. And instead of just getting money, you get a lot more. And so another example, Lord, I ask that you grow my company and my mission rapidly in a way that allows for the integrity of my work to stand strong. And Lord, equip me for an overflow of growth and bring in the people that you have meant to help this pursuit and remove those people that you have meant for them to not contribute to this pursuit. Grow it so rapidly that the whole world knows that you're behind it, right? That's actually a prayer that I pray is I pray, God, would you work so swiftly and open the floodgates, right? And grow this thing so fast that people from the outside looking in would know that it's you. They would have no other choice but to see that it's you. And in the meantime, help me to steward that growth properly, keep me centered, keep me strong, give me the gift of leadership, discernment, and knowledge and wisdom so that I can steward this growth and have joy in the process, right? This is what I'm referring to is the broad specificity to say you're making your petitions known, but you're leaving yourself open to, number one, the what and the how. The what as it pertains to you may not always need exactly what, or you may not always know exactly what you need. So you should leave that open to knowing that God knows what you need. You only know like this much of it. And there's a whole other pie way up here. Okay. So this is how we prayerfully manifest. Because here's what happens, right, in that prayerfully manifesting place. When you're doing this, so those were very wordy prayers, right? This requires me to like really put my thoughts on it. It requires me to energetically put not only my thoughts into it, but also, and this is one of the ingredients, the heart, your heart. And this is why repetition is important, right? That's the next thing I want to talk about is doing this type of style of prayerfully manifesting with repetition. You can't just pray it once and then be like, where is it? No. This is again about relationship. It's about relationship. It's about coming into partnership, collaboration, and work with God. And so you don't just clock in one day and then be like, well, where's my paycheck for the rest of my life? That doesn't work that way. We've got to show up every day. In fact, God even says that he will avenge quickly and swiftly on behalf of those who pray day in and day out. Now, avenge, ask, fulfill, right? So we need some history. And we also need to demonstrate that we're faithful and committed. By showing up every day, repeating, repetition, these types of prayers, this type of asking, this type of petition, you're building into that relationship. You know, and I also want to add to this part too is maybe consider not always just asking for things. In fact, we'll go into a formula for a powerful prayer in a moment, but it's not the main part of the prayer is not about asking for things. If I just every time I needed something went to my parents and was like, can I have money for such and such? And I never came to them to say things like thank you or hey dad, I'm sorry the other day it was crabby. Something like if I only came to my parents when I needed something, that would probably leave a pretty poor taste in their mouth, right? And it's like how likely and willing and excited are they going to be to give me what I'm asking for when all I'm doing ever when I come to them is asking. So I just want to jump in there quickly and say, hey, remember there's other parts to the process of relationship with God and partnership with God that do not include asking. And so, with that being said, the formula for a truly powerful and effective prayer, and if you follow the Bible, if you follow Jesus, right? Because the Bible is, it is limited to. There are many parts that we're missing, the mysticism to Jesus's message and his true path. But if you really look at Jesus' example, this is how he prayed too. So this is a formula for a powerful prayer in the way that so this is interesting. Whether you're religious or not, this is interesting because Jesus is an example and he's a historical figure, and he is in some ways a revolutionary, right? And his prayer, like his disciples were like, okay, I'm praying, but Jesus, when you pray, something different happens. Like when you pray, things happen, and they really happen. Like miracles happen. So what are you doing differently over there, Jesus, that we're missing, right? Like, what are you doing? How are you praying that is producing 10x results? Okay, we want to talk about 10x. So here's the formula. Ready for this? It's ACTS, ACTS. That's the acronym that you can remember. So it goes like this in this order too: adoration, confession, thanksgiving, then supplication. So supplication, meaning the request, the petition, the asking, is last. Okay, first is adoration. God, I adore you for how amazing you are, for how creative you are. You created these mountains, right? I adore you for whatever. You think of the reason. I confess, you know what? I've been arrogant. I've been selfish. I've been impatient. You fill in the blank. I confess this about my heart. Okay. I confess this about my spirit, my mind lately. Confess this to you. I give this over to you. Thank you. Thanksgiving is next. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for always providing what I need. Nothing more, nothing less. Thank you for directing my path. Thank you for my family. Thank you for this home. Thank you for fill in the blank. Okay. It's your thanksgiving to him. And then supplication is last. And this is when you make your petition. This is when you say, Lord, would you please do this? Would you please do that? Would you please show up in this way? And it could have nothing to do with something that you want, but maybe it's something you want to experience more of. Lord, would you please help me to experience more patience, more peace in my life, more joy, more love. Help me to hear you more clearly. Help me to feel like you're with me, right? Help me to feel your presence. Because one of the main things that puts people in a state of disarray or suffering or anxiety is feeling disconnect, oh my gosh, is feeling disconnected from God. Because it's in those moments of connection where things around us haven't changed much, and yet we have this overwhelming sense of peace, this divine sense of love, this presence that brings companionship even in the loneliest of nights. It surrounds you, right? And all of that it's not that God changed. It's that you came into his presence by your awareness, by your heart. This is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Because God is never separate from you. Never, 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 never. It's not his nature. It's our nature to have the illusion that we are separate, separated, or distant, or we can't hear, right? And it's not that he's not talking. Maybe he's not. Even in God's silence, sometimes we receive the best answers. It's that we're not in a position to be aware of that presence and thus feeling things like suffering, sadness, anxiety, right? That's not a good feeling to have. So who knows? Maybe your request is just to feel his presence more so you can hear that guiding voice. My point is, be open, be more broad in your requests. Because here's the interesting part, right? If manifesting is simply where we place our thoughts the most frequently, right? Then when I'm going to this place of this secret place in the heart, connecting with God, asking for things, saying thank you, all of these things, right? I'm placing my thoughts. Oh my gosh. I'm placing my thoughts on all of those things that I'm talking to God about. And so by doing this early in the morning, you're directing your thought flow and also your heart space for the rest of the day. So then what happens then? You might ask. Well, then you begin manifesting exactly what you're asking for. Not only because you're placing your thoughts there, but reticular activating system, what you ask for and then become aware of is like, now I'm open. I'm out here looking. I'm looking for those requests to be fulfilled. I'm looking for those opportunities, those little breadcrumbs, right? And I see them. It's like a mystical, magical land. Now I see things differently. I see God's, I've asked for patience and I also asked for more downtime. And then I get in a traffic jam. Oh, hey, there you go. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to practice patience and also this downtime. I could chill in my car ride. Can't go anywhere. No option. I'm in a traffic jam. There you go. Downtime. Okay. Now I see things being fulfilled in many different ways. And this does one of many things, but one of them is gratitude. Gratitude for knowing that even in these small things, God is hearing you and he's answering your prayer. And it's like, haha, he also has a sense of humor, which is great. We can also join in that sense of humor, right? But this is like gratitude. It's like we can be grateful for the things that people become stressed about. We can be grateful for the things we used to be depressed and mad about. We can be grateful for, it's like, I want an opportunity to heal the wounds of the past. Ooh, look out for that one, because I can promise you that type of prayer is bringing in some challenges and some tests. Okay. I want to be prepared for my divine partner. Okay. Well, be prepared for a really challenging partner then. I want to be an amazing leader. Okay. Be prepared for some really hard decisions. Right. But then knowing this and having that state of the heart, we can then be thankful for when those things happen rather than suffer. Or we can suffer and learn the lesson of what suffering is supposed to teach us too. Either way. Now, so let me just repeat that and recap it. The formula for a powerful prayer. And then I want to talk about 3 ingredients within that formula that are the 3 ingredients for a powerful and effective prayer. The formula is acts, okay? Adoration, confession, thanksgiving, supplication. Adoration, confession, thanksgiving, supplication. Now, within that, there are 3 very special and important ingredients that we need. Because if I just follow this, right, because, oh my gosh, if I just follow this, it's very ritualistic, right? And I can then fall into the trippy trap of ritualizing God, ritualizing my time with God, because I'm like, okay, it's 6 a.m. time for me to do my prayer. Time for me to, God, I adore you for this. Okay, I confess my sins. Okay, thank you for the food on the table. Okay, now let me ask you for what I want. And it's like very ritualized, right? There's no, you can't ritualize love. Oops, sorry. Can't ritualize love. And so these ingredients, number one, first and foremost is belief. You've got to have belief, right? I can't just go to God with all of these requests and problems and then be like, well, pray about it, I guess. And then pray about it with no real belief that he's going to relieve that suffering or deliver you or honor that request without any belief. It's like that's just the subconscious mind working for you. Like if I don't believe something's going to work, placebo effect, baby, it's not going to work. Even if he is delivering something to you, here's the oh my gosh, here's the magic of your focus, right? Even if he is answering the prayer, you'll miss it. You will miss it. You won't have the eyes to see or the ears to hear when that prayer is being answered because you don't believe that it's going to be answered. How many times has that happened in your life? Who knows? Because you missed it. Okay. Belief is number one. Intention is number two. Am I intentional about my request and my prayer? And also, why am I asking for these things? What's my intention? Where is my heart's intention, right? Am I asking for all of this success and things like that to get recognition and fame and feel like, haha, mom and dad, I told you I'd make it. If that's my intention, you better backtrack a bit. Take a step back, reevaluate, shift your heart, get some things right. Get some things right. And number three is the heart. Your heart, your heart, your heart. Number three is the most important because all things flow from the heart. So the heart needs to be at the center of everything that we do, right? It's the same with manifesting. It's like, if you don't got your heart into it, how powerful is it going to be? The heart is the driving force. Your heart is where you truly descend into the presence of God. Your heart is the powerful life force that will dictate the power of these prayers. And it's like God said, man looks at outward things, God looks at the heart. Okay, so when we have these three ingredients first within that formula of prayer, then we become fluid with this and we are truly in a state now of building this relationship and also collaborating, like I said in the very beginning, collaborating with God in partnership, in creation, right? Right. And so your heart here is the main ingredient. But I will say that there are four master P's to success. And not worldly success, spiritual success. Those four P's are, ready? Write them down. Prayer, persistence, patience, perseverance. Prayer, make your petitions known, follow the formula, have the ingredients, right? Prayer, adoration, confession, thanksgiving, supplication, with belief, with intention, and with your heart. Okay. Persistence, persist every day. Onward, onward, onward. Be persistent in your pursuit, persistent in your actions, persistent in your communication with God, persistent in your part. Patience, be patient. God's timing is the best timing. God doesn't make a mistake. He's never too early. He's never too late. Be patient enough to know that your time frame is limited to a window of forward and backward. Okay. Be patient to know that when it's your time, It'll be your time. You can't miss it. And perseverance, be persevering. Persevere through the struggle, persevere through the trial, persevere through the challenge, persevere through the work, persevere, persevere, persevere. Persevere through the thoughts, the adversaries, the haters. Persevere through the setbacks, the perceived setbacks. Okay, these are 4 P's for spiritual success: prayer, persistence, patience, and perseverance. If you have those 4 things along these lines of the formula for a powerful prayer with the ingredients, I can guarantee you 100% when you really have these things, you will feel and achieve success. Not in the worldly way of what we know it to be, in a spiritual way, which is way better than any worldly success. Okay, because why? Because there's fulfillment and joy in the spiritual success. And there not always is in the worldly success. There may be, maybe it's risky business, but there may be if it's, if you're doing those things that's what's aligned for you. Okay, so we ask and then we let go. That's part of the patience, right? We let go of it. We let go of it. See, too often we're asking for all these things and we're still clutching to it. We're asking in a way that says, I need this. And God's like, no, you don't. If you did, you would have it. But because you don't have it, you don't need it right now. It's the nature of how God works. He supplies for our needs. No more, no less. Okay. Too often, though, in this process, we want what we want, right? So we want what we want. Oh my gosh. And so here is some important things to keep in mind along this process. And then we'll wrap it up, I promise. Some important things to keep in mind, right, is that we must first, number 1 priority, desire the truth. Okay, this is so hard. Oh my gosh, this is so hard because people are like, oh, I value the truth. I desire the truth. I love the truth. It's like, do you? Do you? Because the truth sometimes is not aligned with what you want. Okay, so we must first desire the truth at all costs. Okay, because the truth, not my truth, not your truth, the truth, okay, because that's different. There's a big difference between my truth, your truth, and the truth. And the truth may be different than my truth, okay? It may be different than your truth. The truth may not get me what I ask for. And that's where I have to value truth above comfort. Oh my gosh. What I need to do is I need to value truth above my comfort, because my comfort would say, I want this and I'm not giving up until I get it. And so then we pursue this path of getting it, whatever it is that we think we want. And maybe we get it, maybe we don't, maybe it's just an endless pursuit of what it is that we think we want. But since it's not what we need, God doesn't give it to us. And then we get frustrated and angry with God. Okay, that's a path we can take. Ew. Or we get it and we're like, okay, this is definitely not what I thought it was going to be like. How do I get out of this? And that's because we didn't value the truth first. Does that make sense? So too often we miss the answers to our prayers too, because we are focused on getting what we want rather than what God wants to tell us or what God really has for us. We're like, no. It was supposed to be this way. It was supposed to be this person. It was supposed to be this job. It was supposed to be this is how it was supposed to be. And God's like, oh my gosh, how long is it going to take for you to get it? I've been trying to tell you that is not what I have for you, right? But we're so glued to it. So we need to want the truth first and to value that. That's hard. That's hard. Okay. Because if we don't, then like I said, we proceed down these directions. We get something that we thought we wanted, and then we're like mad at God. Like, how could you let this happen? It's like, dude, I tried to tell you. I tried so many times to prevent you from going down that path. You went anyways. What do you mean I allowed it to happen? You refused to let go of control. Okay. So this letting go, this surrendering is part of it is acknowledging that you don't know what you need. You don't. It's the truth of it. None of us know what we need. We know that we have needs, right? Like in a relationship, it's my job to say my needs. That's my responsibility. Here are my needs. And here are my desires, right? Here are the things that I will not settle for less than. And here's the things I can compromise on. That's our job to know. But we don't know necessarily what we need in life in this bigger path, in this bigger picture thinking. So what we need to do is ask and then let it go and listen. Ask, let it go, and listen. Because let me tell you, what God has for you is very easy. It's very fluid. There's a flow to it. It's very natural. It's not forced. It's not, you don't have to get all in your mind and like convince yourself and like rationalize and have a whole persuasive debate with your own mind that like this is the thing for you. If it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel right. And you're like, no, it has to be because of X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. I put this on my vision board. It has to be. This is it. It's like we get so glued to it, right? It's funny. It's humans. This is what humans do. So we ask and then we let go and we're like, we almost take this sense of like curiosity, like, okay, cool. All right, God, how is it going to show up? Because he's so creative, he might send it in very, well, unorthodox ways. I mean, I know he did that for me, and he's continuing to do it. It's like, well, definitely didn't see this path as an option, but here we are, and it's making sense. It's starting to make sense. Didn't make sense, but the fact that it doesn't make sense is kind of what makes it make sense. You know what I'm saying? You're like, well, I asked for this, huge deliverance in my business and all this stuff, and then he asks me to move across the country. Wait, what? And then all of a sudden you get there and there's growth, like how I'm experiencing, and I'm like, all right, starting to make sense. Couldn't do what I was asking for to do where I was before. Right? I got this vision, I got this mission, I've got this powerful goal and purpose. And I'm like, please just show me how to do this. And he's like, okay, move. And I'm like, wait, what? But okay. Somehow that's lining up. Like the steps are just lining up for that to happen. So I'm going to follow. And then all of a sudden, boom, explosion, growth. And I'm like, oh, good thing I listened. You know what I mean? So it's the same here, guys. It's the same here. It's like when you ask in this way and when you're fully there, fully with it and fully with him, it's like you ask for something and then he's like, all right, cool. Go do this. And you're like, maybe there was like a missing link in this game of telephone God, but that's like I asked for a partner. I didn't ask for, to go be a counselor. I don't know, something like that, but here we are. He's like, yeah. I know what you asked. And I'm saying, I know what you need. I'm going to say that one more time. God's like, yeah, I know what you asked, but I know what you need. So here's your assignment. Go do that. Then you'll get what you asked for and what you need. Oh, I love this. Okay. Last thing to keep in mind, do your best. to remove fear from your asking, right? We can't be like, okay, God, I really want to, grow this huge community, and it's like world renowned. This doesn't happen. Oh my God, what am I supposed to do when I get there? How am I going to do that? It's like, now I follow it up with like 1,000 reasons or excuses why, like, I'm not equipped for this. Oh my God, wait, what am I doing? Okay. There's no place for fear in asking, because when God is in it, anything is possible. And here's where fear comes from, right? Fear comes from the perception of us doing this thing with our own limitations, right? It's like saying, I feel like I have to do this all by myself, right? Be the creator of life. No offense, manifestors out there. I don't want to be the creator of my life. I am going to 100% F it up. I'm going to F it up. Also, if I want this huge goal way over there, and I know that based on my own capabilities and strength and knowledge and all of these and power, there's not a chance in hell I can accomplish that by myself. No, no, no. I don't want to be the creator of my life. I want to be the co-creator of my life. God says, ask anything in my name. And if it's his will, it'll be done. And it'll be done like that, right? Because he can move mountains. So anything that you think is standing in your path in the form of fear or limitations, be prepared for that to get obliterated out of the way when you ask God to come into it. Okay. Ask God to come into it. Boom, mountains fall, obstacles fall, limits fall. Let him decide if it's something you need or not. You don't need to do that. You just need to ask for the basic things like guidance. Right? And also, don't wait while you wait. Get up, do your part, act, trust. Trust that, number one, if you don't have it, you don't need it. But number two, that your efforts will be fruitful. God rewards those who labor. Okay, so don't wait while you wait. You don't just say, I need this, and then sit there and expect it to come knocking on your door. That's not how it works. This is how you collaborate. So instead of being manifestors, creators of our life, how about we try this? To manifest with God. So the real flex is being able to direct what you're manifesting with God. The real flex is not saying, I created my life. The real flex is saying, I listened really well. I listened and I trusted. And I believed. Right? That's the real flex. Like, I don't know about you, but I don't want to get to a point where I look back and say, look at all of this that I created. Ugh. Because I'm human. And chances are what I can create is pretty shitty in relation to what I can do with God working through me and me working with God, right? I want to look back and say, thank God I listened. Because that right there, that creation, that thing that was created through me, I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud of not me creating it, but I'm proud that I was able to listen and that I got to work with God. Like, that's what an opportunity, right? What an opportunity. So you want to get really magical? You want to really do magic? Get in relationship with him. Collaborate. Cooperate. Okay. That secret place in the middle, which, by the way, the doorway for that place is in your heart. So you want to do this? You get into your heart. You get into your heart, you give the heart, give of the heart, give with the heart. You connect with the heart to the Spirit of God. And then you ask in this way, all the ways that we discussed today. There's so many ways to do this, right? This is the non-limited way. Actually, the world's way is the very limited way. This leaves so much room for expansion, creativity, inspiration, passion. There's so much room here for so much adventure and experience. It's the world's way that confines us, restricts us, and limits us to a one singular path that's filled with tension and stress, by the way. It's like so stressful. And the way, the Tao, is one of flow. It's one of joy. It's one of play and adventure and humor and awe and curiosity. And so you want to get real magical, you find that space right there. You decondition yourself. You deprogram yourself from this high drive, high strive mentality. It's what we're seeing a lot of in a select few, in the warriors of these days, right? The warriors that will kind of be a part of shifting humanity back to a more divine intent, which is what's happening right now, what we're seeing, what we're experiencing, what we're a part of or not a part of, but we're all part of it in a way. It's magical. But when we can deprogram, decondition ourselves from these ways of operating that have confined, restricted, and caused a lot of suffering, a lot of greed, a lot of power, a lot of dysfunction, dis-ease in the skeleton of humanity, right? Our bones are breaking. Our skin is disintegrating. We're having an organ failure as one humanity, one organism, one system, one collective. Okay. We're breaking down because we're forcing parts of ourselves to do things that they're not designed to do. How do we solve this? We bring it back to God. It's very simple. And a better way of phrasing that is we bring God back into it. We bring Jesus back into it. That is the way. The healing balm. And you don't have to focus on so many symptoms. It's like you're getting right to the root. So I hope this episode blessed you today. I love this topic so much. I pray, it is my prayer for us right now that we each find the secret place of magic and prayer and manifestation and collaboration, cooperation with God in our own way, in a way that is in alignment with our own path, individual path, because I can promise you that, God will meet you wherever you are and wherever you need to be met. And so it's my prayer that he does what he does best, and knows the desires of your heart, speaks to you in a way that you can hear, that the seed be planted, your soil be fertilized and tended to, that it may be sifted up in the way that protects you from hardship and heartache and to a lot of pain, that you be protected in the process of looking up and turning your heart towards him, because the enemy will attack whenever you're getting close to him. So I ask that he protect you in the process of that, not that you may be sheltered from adversity, but that you may have the courage and strength to endure it and to see it, that you may have discernment to see deception when it is trying to keep you away from your path, and that you would have the steps laid out for you, that you would see them clearly and know which steps to take. That's my prayer for you. It's my prayer for you that whatever words were spoken today, that they find a place in your heart to nestle in, that they become seeds that get watered over time and sprout and create a new garden within your own being, within the fiber and fabric of your being, that you would use this garden to direct your path, and also that you would just have an open heart to seeing how those seeds will grow over time, and that you would continue to water them. This is my prayer for you, right? Among others, I could continue to go on and on. I feel like when I get in these prayer modes, you get in a flow, you get in a state. It's a state of the heart. And I pray that you would be ignited from within, that spark within you is ignited within, and that you go out and go forth and you spread your spark so that we may become one world on fire for God. I love you all. I will talk to you so very soon. Again, if this episode blessed you, if it brought you value in any way, shape, or form, please share it. Please rate it. Share it with 5 people, 10 people, share it with 1,000 people. Please, it's my mission to reach as many people as possible. I need your help to do that. I cannot do it without you. So y'all are valuable. You're needed. I love you. I love you. And have a blessed day. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Ignite the Spark Within. If this podcast brought you value, or you think it would bring someone else value, please hit that share button. My mission is to reach and help as many people as I possibly can, and you just never know who could use that one good piece of information. And hey, if you have any topics, discussion questions, or ideas for future episodes, you can reach me directly at sarah@sparkflc.com and just write podcast in the subject line. And if you haven't already, please rate the podcast on your favorite podcast channel. This helps bring awareness to the show. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you're alerted for all future episodes. Please go ahead and follow me on Facebook and Instagram. And if you're interested in pursuing coaching for yourself, you can visit sparkflc.com for more information.